Imagine spotting a ship at sea, sails partly set, moving slowly through swells, like it still has a purpose, but no one in sight. You signal and you shout, but there's no answer, no footsteps, no faces, nothing. In 1872, that ship was the Mary Celeste. When rescuers boarded, they didn't find a wreck. They found a working ship, seaworthy, intact, and eerily quiet. Food was aboard, cargo was aboard, personal belongings still there. But the entire crew, captain, sailors, wife, even their child, was gone. Mary Celeste left New York in early November 1872, bound for Genoa, Italy. One more merchant voyage across the Atlantic. She carried industrial alcohol, barrels of denatured spirits for manufacturing. About a month later, near the Azores, the Dei Gratia spotted her drifting. The Dei Gratia's crew noticed something wrong. Mary Celeste wasn't holding a steady course, drifting at odd angles like a ship without hands. They raised signals and waited, still nothing. So they did what sailors dread and must do, board a silent ship and learn why it's silent. Below deck, the scene was eerie because it wasn't chaotic. It felt like ordinary life paused mid-sentence, with the ship still breathing. The papers were there, clothing and personal items were there, and the galley had supplies. It looked less like a disaster, and more like everyone stepped away at once. On deck, everything said the ship could still sail. Rigging, sails, compass, functional and intact. The mystery wasn't wreckage. It was absence. One absence screamed louder than the silence. The ship's only lifeboat was gone. That suggests the crew left on purpose. But why abandon a seaworthy vessel? Mary Celeste's cargo matters. More than 1,700 barrels of industrial alcohol packed below deck, valuable, volatile, and easy to fear in the wrong conditions. Some barrels were later found leaking or empty, common with wooden casks, but still alarming. If fumes built up, the crew might have feared a sudden blast. Another detail, there was water in the hold, more than you'd want, but not enough to doom the ship. It's the kind of problem that breeds panic. If the crew believed the pumps were failing, they could have thought the ship was slowly dying. Add alcohol fumes, and you get decisions made under pressure. The logbook's last entry was dated about 10 days before the ship was found. After that, the record stops, and the ocean keeps the rest. That means Mary Celeste drifted unmanned for days across open Atlantic water. Whatever happened, it likely happened fast enough that no one came back aboard. The Dei Gratia sailed the ghost ship to Gibraltar to claim salvage money, standard maritime practice when you recover a vessel at sea. But the story was so strange that authorities launched an inquiry, and once money enters the picture, every clue starts to look like a motive. Investigators searched for signs of violence, cuts, stains, anything suggesting a struggle. But on a working ship, small marks can mean almost anything. The evidence was thin, and some claims grew exaggerated as the story spread. In the end, the court reduced the salvage award, suspicion implied, crime unproven. The first theories were the most dramatic: pirates, mutiny, murder. Someone takes the ship, then erases the witnesses, leaving only an empty deck behind. But the cargo was largely intact and valuables weren't systematically looted. If this was a violent takeover, it's a strangely inefficient one. Other ideas point to nature: a sudden squall, a waterspout, even a seaquake, an underwater tremor that jolts the ship without leaving obvious wreckage. None of these have to destroy the vessel to terrify the people on it. If they feared explosion or sinking, the lifeboat could feel like the safest choice. Here's the theory many historians find most plausible. The crew didn't mean to abandon Mary Celeste forever. They may have evacuated temporarily, staying close by. They could have waited for fumes to clear, possibly tethered by rope. But if the line snapped or the wind shifted, the ship could sail away, leaving them behind. In a small boat, the Atlantic doesn't need to be dramatic to be deadly. Distance grows fast, and the horizon doesn't care who's watching. Cold nights, sunburned days, limited water, then one storm, and the search ends before it begins. If the lifeboat went down, The ocean kept the evidence. The Mary Celeste mystery survives because the ship answers half the question. We can see a crew that likely left in fear of fumes, flooding, or worse. But the sea erased the other half, the moment the lifeboat separated, and the fate of everyone inside it. Sometimes the ocean refuses to return an ending.